When I came up with the title, it was an accident. We were looking for something that would perhaps mean different things to different people. It can either be looked at as, I got a crush on you, or I got crushed last night, you know? I mean, it can mean different things to the listener.
So we start just kind of throw around things like slippery when wet. It really doesn't mean anything. But it's kind of sexy and cool, you know what I mean? It's like, you can imagine, your mind starts to go. Actually, you see some girls in a shower together. That's what I start to think of immediately when I started thinking of slippery when wet. John just started saying some stuff, and he came up with Crush, and I went, I like that a lot, I just thought that was cool. It has like, it's got sex, it's got power, so it's fun. Something about it.
We started playing around. I came up with this title, It's My Life, and it was really just the Animals, it was Eric Burdon. And we wrote that big old anthemic chorus. We did it again.
Lyrically, it nods towards, Tommy and Gina, and we kind of bring back those characters in the second verse of the song. We also bring back the talk box because it seemed to be one of our signature sound. But we also used on the track particularly to make it updated was a drum loop and lots of different drum machines and stuff like that to combine it with a real drum set to kind of give it the classic Bon Jovi sound, but an updated 2000 kind of version.
When people hear it now, they are very surprised that I'll have written a song like this, both in lyrical content and the musical value. But it's different, and again has I think, a rather positive chorus in that what it says lyrically is, say it isn't so, tell me it's not true, because you still have to be able to dream. You have to be able to believe in role models, heroes, or Santa Claus. I mean, once you forget those dreams, it becomes a boring life. If I were to write record credits on this album sleeve, it would have said, "Thank you for loving me. Thank you to Brad Pitt." So that would have started 100 rumors. But the truth is, a lot of times I get stories from movies. In this case, I went to see the movie Meet Joe Black. And Brad is holding Claire Forlani in his arms at the end of the movie, and he says, "Thank you for loving me." And I went, "Gotta go." And I ran home and wrote that chorus, and much like Always or Better Roses or a lot of the hit ballads we've had over the years, I've always written them by myself because they're rather easy for me to do. I saw the outline in that movie. This was going to be something I could knock out in 10 minutes.
That side of him and show just the way John sang the song particularly was very, very appealing to me because it was, again, fresh, something uncharted. He's almost like speaking through the verses with a small melody on it. I don't think we could have done it on the past records, but as John's maturing as a vocalist, I think that he's able to do different things, and I wanted to show that side of him and show the side of the band, on a production standpoint. So that was a song that I particularly guided onto this record and made sure that it was going to get on because I had a passion for it.
The Japanese market called and asked, do we have a song that would fit this Kobe Relief Fund, that this thing called J-Friends, which is the boy bands of Japan, could record and had a lyrical message that, that would support future generations even. And we said, as a matter of fact, we do. So we sent them the original demo. These guys recorded it, and it has sold somewhere close to, 800, 900,000 singles already, and was our first Japanese #1 song on the domestic charts. In all the hits that we've had in Japan, it was the first domestic #1 single.
I came up with a crazy idea to add this double time jam that lets me kind of go crazy as a guitar player. They basically let me go nuts for like 3 minutes, which I think people dig live, and it also gives me a chance to expand myself as a guitar player. So I think what that does is tell people that, this band is still a rock band with lots of testosterone and, that we can actually really play our instruments. Because there's a lot of bands out there that, get deals nowadays that I ask them, how long have you been playing? Well, I've been playing for 6 months, and that's what they sound like. So I mean, we wanted to prove to people that, number one, that we can really play, and number two, that I think excites people to come see us live, which is a big part of our whole lure.
The lyric says one simple thing in the chorus: I like the bed I'm sleeping in, just like me, it's broken in. It's not old, just older. Like a favorite pair of torn blue jeans, the skin I'm in's all right with me. It's not old, just older. And that sums it up. When I sang this, my chest was out, you know, my backbone was straight, and I was very excited singing it. And I saw that the audience felt that. Now, regardless of if you're 16, you think you're older than when you were 12, or if you're 38, you think you're older than when you were 25, or when you're 50, you're going to think you were older than when you were 35. So it's a question of feeling experience because of the song. I think that my lyrical heroes, Leonard Cohen, Tom Waits, could be proud of the pictures that I've created in this song. I think it's a wonderful story in that it is a boy-girl song. I created a lot of pictures and always used, you know, my wife as, you know, the image of what I'm creating with it. But there's more to the story than the cover. I think that will be one of the songs that I'll love to play at night. Jerry Bruckheimer sent me the script of Armageddon and asked me to write a song for that soundtrack and perhaps for the movie. And when I read this script, I immediately knew that the character that Ben Affleck was playing, leaving Liv Tyler to go and save the world, finding out that he was in love with Liv Tyler's character and Bruce Willis being her dad in the film was going to whoop his ass for it, being the wild boy in the film. Here was the story to me. This was what I was going to write about. It was really obvious to me, and I wrote the song, and I liked the song very much. Put it away because I found out that they had their ballad, quote unquote, you know, with Aerosmith doing the song. So I honed the lyric to make it a little more personal, but the basis of it comes from the script of Armageddon. Richie came over to Rome while I was shooting U-571 to write. So we got together there, and I says, you know, I've got a strange one here, and it's called Captain Crash and the Beauty Queen from Mars. And I said, let's think of this guy. And he said, yeah. And I said, think of this guy. And he goes, I get it. And I said, now let's make him more Ziggy Stardust, you know, and have this fictional story of these two screw-ups who think that they are on the cover of Time, Newsweek, and Rolling Stone all in the same week. And really, they can't get out of their own way. But they're endearing characters, so they're completely been fictionalized, mind you, but also somebody that you would like to be. She's a mystery I wrote, believe it or not, at a songwriter's retreat. I was invited to the south of France at what was truly a castle in the middle of nowhere. And it became one of the truly great experiences of my life because all you could talk about was songwriting. And you would sit in a room with two other people and develop a song. Not for you, not for them, for the wind, just to see what would happen. And you were forced to demo that song that day. So it was almost like a test. Could you or could you not? Got up really early at dawn, picked up my guitar, started playing, came up with this progression, and then that title, and started writing it. So when I walked in there that day, we knocked it out in 10 minutes. Well, the song turned out so well that it has actually made the band record, which is not like us to do anything like this. You initially hear this song, and good or bad, you know, or indifferent, you go, well, John Bon Jovi got the girl, isn't that great? But what you find out in the last lyric of the song is that she'll always be a 5-year-old princess to me, and it's about my daughter. And I've never written a song about my kids before, nor have I ever wanted to. I don't know what influenced it other than I just spit it out one day, and I was really fond of the lyric, and it's a rock song. It's very up-tempo with the surprise as being the last line. But, like every dad that has a daughter, especially as his first child, you think, what have I done? This is my penance for the rest of my life. So my joke about my daughter is I've always said she'll be the prettiest girl in the convent. The old team of Richie and myself and Desmond Child, we wrote this song together, at least the first verse and part of the chorus. But I thought of it as going to a go-go, and was so excited about it that I kept pushing. I came home and wrote the rest of the lyric by myself, and having had already written the music, roughed it up. They came, we demoed it, changed a couple more of the lyrics around. Certainly in the vein of You Give Love a Bad Name, you'll want to play it at night. It'll be a big audience thing.
It's a fun classic Bon Jovi track, a la Bad Medicine, and great guitar line, and it's a fun lyric, and it's about a party that lasts just like this one wild evening. We tried to lyrically take a guy from his doorstep out through the evening and follow him around with a camera in our mind's eye as lyricists. And he meets people, he meets a girl, and he goes to and parties his ass off and does all that kind of stuff. So it was one of those songs that kind of came together like that.
This is something that when I played for Rich, he said, "Boy, great verse, great B section." I said, "No, that's the chorus." He goes, "Great B section." Thanks a lot, brother. So we sat down and wrote a chorus for it, and he became a collaborator on the track. But I'm glad that he pushed me further in the vein of AC/DC, stadium rock, but a fun song, a real black T-shirt crowd thing.